Prince Rogers Nelson, a name synonymous with musical brilliance, boundary-pushing artistry, and relentless creative control. He wasn't just a performer. He was a movement, a one-man symphony who could write, produce, and perform a song from start to finish without anyone else stepping into the studio. With his signature purple aesthetic, electrifying performances, and a catalog that defined and defied genres, Prince shaped the sound of modern music. Yet, behind the mesmerizing stage presence and unparalleled talent was a man driven by a fiercely uncompromising vision. And when that vision collided with the pop world's more commercial, manufactured elements, sparks flew, publicly, privately, and permanently. Prince wasn't shy about his disdain for those he believed lacked musical authenticity. He saw the industry turning toward style over substance, toward image over instrumentation. For Prince, that was unacceptable. He viewed some artists as emblematic of everything wrong with the music business: artificial success, shallow artistry, and a betrayal of the creative process. Today, we pull back the curtain to reveal the 6 artists and entities that crossed the purple one in the worst way. These weren't petty celebrity feuds. These were deeply rooted artistic clashes, battles over integrity, ownership, and legacy. These conflicts reveal the darker, more defiant side of a man many view as an ethereal genius. Buckle up. These are the top 6 artists Prince hated the most, and the explosive reasons why. MichaelJackson. The mirror image rivalry. Prince and MichaelJackson were, in many ways, 2 sides of the same coin. Both were child prodigies who broke away from family bands to become global icons. Both reshaped pop music in their own image. But behind the scenes, this wasn't a tale of mutual respect. It was a rivalry drenched in obsession, resentment, and competition. Their conflict began in the late 1970s and early 1980s as they emerged as solo superstars. Michael's silky vocals and impeccable choreography charmed the masses. Prince, however, believed his own approach, writing, producing, and performing every note himself, was superior. Industry insiders recall how Prince saw Jackson as overly manufactured, dependent on producers like Quincy Jones and songwriters who tailored hits for mass appeal. The feud hit a public boiling point during a James Brown concert in 1983 when both artists were invited on stage. Jackson's seamless performance contrasted with Prince's awkward moment involving a lamppost and a fall from stage. The footage humiliated Prince. From that moment, he became obsessed with not just surpassing Jackson, but proving Jackson didn't deserve the acclaim he received. Prince famously declined to collaborate on Jackson's Bad, seeing the track's opening line, "Your butt is mine," as beneath him. In later years, Prince would take not-so-subtle jabs at Jackson's plastic surgery and dependence on chart toppers. He believed in raw, unfiltered creativity. Jackson, to Prince, represented the industry's obsession with polish over substance. The rivalry wasn't just artistic, it was existential. Prince wasn't competing with Jackson's music. He was competing with the very system that elevated Jackson to superstardom. Wham! Disposable pop versus musical craftsmanship when George Michael and Andrew Ridgeley burst onto the scene with Wham! Their infectious pop hooks and polished aesthetic made them instant radio darlings. For Prince, this was blasphemy. To him, Wham! Represented everything wrong with the direction of mainstream music in the 1980s. Songs like Wake Me Up Before You Go topped charts, while Prince's complex, genre-bending compositions were often sidelined by radio programmers. This enraged him. Insiders recall studio sessions where Prince fumed about the industry's obsession with bubblegum pop. He saw Wham! As an affront to real musicianship, a duo that prioritized fashion, style, and image over instrumental talent or lyrical depth. George Michael's eventual evolution into a respected solo artist only intensified Prince's frustration. As Michael began receiving accolades for songwriting and vocal prowess, Prince saw the public conveniently forgetting Wham's simplistic roots. To him, an artist's legacy mattered, and so did how they got there. If you had to rebrand yourself to gain respect, Prince questioned whether you deserved it at all. He never attacked George Michael directly, but behind the scenes, his contempt for the duo was well known. Their success served as a warning sign that authenticity no longer guaranteed acclaim. The masses, Prince believed, had been seduced by empty pop. Madonna, battle of the provocateurs at first glance. Prince and Madonna seemed destined for alliance. Both pushed boundaries. Both used sexuality and controversy to challenge norms. And both hailed from the Midwest. But while they shared cultural space, they did not share mutual admiration. Their relationship began cordially. Prince even contributed to Madonna's album, Like a Prayer. But tensions quickly simmered. Prince saw Madonna's approach as calculated, her provocations choreographed for maximum attention. While Prince believed in shock as a byproduct of truth, he saw Madonna as using it as a marketing tool. Their rivalry intensified as Madonna's fame skyrocketed. Critics began praising her feminist stance and artistic independence, even as she relied on a team of writers and producers. Prince, who composed, arranged, and produced nearly all his own music, saw this as a false equivalence. He resented being compared to someone who didn't share his creative discipline. Prince also disliked her boldness when it came to public image. While he himself was provocative, it was wrapped in mysticism and layered meaning. Madonna's provocations, he felt, were blunt and shallow. The final straw may have come when she criticized him in interviews after their brief romantic entanglement, calling him a little man with a big ego. Their musical paths diverged, but the tension lingered. While Madonna continued to rebrand and reinvent, Prince remained firmly rooted in his vision of unfiltered artistry. He saw her adaptability as a form of artistic compromise. Duran Duran, fashion over function, MTV brought music to the eyes as much as the ears. And no band capitalized on this more than Duran Duran. With their sleek videos and model good looks, they became visual icons of the 1980s. Prince hated it. He saw Duran Duran as the embodiment of style over substance pop. Their music, while catchy, didn't reflect the complexity and raw skill Prince demanded from artists. Insiders recall him mocking their reliance on outside producers and session musicians. To Prince, they were actors in a music video, not musicians in a studio. His contempt deepened as Duran Duran achieved massive success, often outshining his more musically dense material on MTV. Prince viewed this as an insult, not to his ego, but to the craft itself. Music being reduced to aesthetics. It was being judged by cheekbones and choreographed cool. While he never attacked Duran Duran directly in interviews, those close to him knew of his disdain. He ramped up his own visual output, ensuring that every music video showcased his instrumental mastery, not just his fashion. The time, protégés turned rebels. Prince didn't just create music, he created artists. And no creation cut deeper than The Time. Formed and produced by Prince, The Time was his brainchild, designed to dominate the funk scene with Morris Day as the charismatic frontman. But as the band gained popularity, things fell apart. The core issue? Credit and control. Prince wrote their songs, produced their records, and often played most of the instruments in the studio. Yet on stage and in interviews, The Time was gaining recognition as a fully independent band. Morris Day, in particular, began asserting more personality. He tweaked performances. He sought creative input. To Prince, this was betrayal. Studio engineers recall Prince becoming increasingly tyrannical, insisting on total control, forbidding members from discussing their roles, and micromanaging every note. Things reached a boiling point during the filming of Purple Rain. Behind the scenes, tensions exploded as The Time felt stifled and uncredited. Legal battles ensued. Prince saw their rebellion as an act of disloyalty. They, in turn, saw him as a dictator. Their relationship never fully recovered. For Prince, The Time wasn't just a band. They were a symbol of what happens when protégés forget who made them. Warner Brothers Records. The ultimate betrayal. The final and most shocking name on this list isn't an artist. It's a corporation. Warner Brothers Records, Prince's longtime label, became his greatest adversary in a battle that reshaped the music industry. In the early years, Warner Brothers nurtured Prince's creativity. But as he grew more prolific, tensions mounted. Prince wanted to release music at his own pace, often several albums a year. Warner wanted marketable, spaced-out releases. The breaking point came when Prince realized he didn't own the rights to his master recordings. To him, this was slavery. He responded by scrawling "slave" on his face during performances and interviews. He changed his name to an unpronounceable symbol, an act of rebellion designed to strip Warner of their ability to commodify his identity. For years, Prince waged a public war against Warner Brothers. He released music independently, gave away albums with concert tickets, and leveraged every ounce of his fame to expose the industry's exploitative contracts. It was a move that cost him airplay, sales, and mainstream support, but it won him back his masters. This wasn't just a feud, it was a revolution. Prince's battle with Warner Brothers opened the door for artists to reclaim control over their work. His hatred sparked a legacy of artistic freedom. The wrath of a genius Prince didn't hate lightly. His feuds weren't driven by ego alone, but by a deep commitment to artistic integrity. He didn't believe in shortcuts. He didn't respect compromise. And he saw the music industry as a battlefield where only the most authentic could survive. Each of these rivalries reveals a different facet of Prince's complex genius. His standards were impossibly high, not just for others, but for himself. And when those standards weren't met, he didn't stay silent. He fought, he rebelled, and he reshaped the rules. Which conflict surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you love deep dives into music history and legends who defied the system, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, stay purple.